Alright, so double honors to the apostles of GMS, honors to you brothers that be pushing in this truth and sincerity. It's an article I ran across on the internet, namely on Press TV, and it's basically saying the U.S. military is in no shape to face the grandson of the Red Army. Right? The picture you have here is Russian soldiers patrol the area surrounding Ukraine. Military units in Noye, right, in Ukraine, and that's in March 2014. So this particular article is not a fresh one, but given the lack of, dare I say it, the lack of information, I feel like there's a slight quietness in the air, which I don't necessarily like, but the scripture does speak of his kingdom going down like a woman in travail. So sometimes it's gonna be all heated up, and things is gonna be popping up, and sometimes it's just about hastening the day. But even searching up the old articles that you can see here, man, right? Everything's gearing up to this World War III. And before I read this article, I'll start off with the scriptures that we're gonna be the scriptures that I'm going to be focusing on today in the book of Job, the 20th chapter, all the way on down from the 3rd verse. And it's basically speaking about how Esau's going to be taken off the face of the planet, how he's going to be chased away as a vision of the night. It's going to be read. Or so it says, this is Job 20:3, it says, knowest this, Job 20:4, by the way, it says, knowest thou not this of old, since man was placed upon the earth, that the triumphing of the wicked is short, and the joy of a hypocrite but for a moment. Right? So you have it to where Esau, right, the powers that be, the elite banking families, whatever you want to call them, you have it to where Esau right now is in power, and he's going around raping all these different countries of their natural resources and all of that. But furthermore, he's in a state of being proud. He's a proud person. You got to remember, Esau is a proud man. He's proud. He's accomplished, or he's gearing up to accomplish that which his heart desires, which is that so-called New World Order, right? And they're triumphing right now. They're in a state of joy. This is their joy. Really, this is the precipice of their kingdom. So they're in a joyous state right now, right? And he goes on to say in the 6th verse, right? Though his excellency mounts up to the heavens and his haste reach the clouds, speaking about those spaceships. Pretty much when those spaceships hit, when they so-called touched down on the moon, that's when America, the prestige of America, started depleting. Right? It says, yet he shall perish forever like his own dung, as we're going to see here. Right? We're going to touch on a little bit of that. Right? He shall perish forever like his own dung. They which have seen him shall say, where is he? And that's how we're going to be in the kingdom of heaven. The kingdom set up for the Negroes, Hispanics, Native Americans. We're going to be like, where is the man that caused the whole earth to tremble? Right? It says, he shall fly away as a dream, he shall not be found, yea, he shall be chased away as a vision of the night. That I also which shall see him no more. Shall see him no more, neither shall his place behold him. Right? His children shall seek to please the poor, and his hands shall restore their goods. Right? So we're going to forcibly take those goods, man. Right? It says, his bones are full of the sin of his youth, which shall lie down with him in the dust. It says, though wickedness be sweet in his mouth, because wickedness is sweet in Esau's mouth, man. Right? That's why he's quick to lie. He's the devil, man. Right? Though wickedness be sweet in his mouth, though he hide it under his tongue, though he spare it and forsake it not, but keep it still within his mouth. Right? He hath swallowed down riches. Right? He swallowed down the riches of all of these nations, and he shall vomit them up. The Most High shall cast him out of his belly. He shall suck the poison asp, and the viper's tongue shall slay him. Right? And I'm going to jump down to the point. And this is the 24th verse. And really the whole chapter is good. But in the interest of keeping this nice, short and sweet, I'll jump down to the point here. Right? So you can read it here. He's pretty much going to be destroyed, and you're never going to see him again. They ain't going to be Edomites after a certain point. After they serve the hardcore slavery, they're going to be wiped off the face of the earth. The book of Obadiah corroborates with that point. right? And this is the 24th verse. It says, "He shall flee from the iron weapon," right? The ball of steel shall strike him through. And what's the iron weapon? When you read in the book of Zechariah, the 14th chapter, and the 12th verse, right? This is the curve. It speaks about it speaks on people standing up on their feet, and the flesh consuming away whilst they stand upon their feet, and the tongue shall consume away whilst they stand upon their feet. Right, all of them that fought against Israel. Right, and this is what it's talking about here. It's the same thing. It says, "He shall flee from the iron weapon; the ball of steel shall strike him through. It is drawn," and this is the description. And this is how we know it's the nuclear missiles that's going to be coming from. Guess where? It's going to be coming from the Russians, man. Right? It says, "It is drawn, and it cometh out of the body. Yea, the glittering sword cometh out of the glass." Right? Terrors are upon him. All darkness is hidden in his secret places, right? It says, "It is drawn," right? It cometh out of the body. So that missile, when it comes out of that body, right? It says, and it goes on to say, "A fire not blown shall consume it." And that's what a nuclear fire is. It's a fire, but you don't strike a match and blow it to get the fire going, man. Right? It says, "It shall go ill with him," right? That is left in his tabernacles. "The heavens shall reveal his iniquity." So when you're going to be in these different countries, you're going to see. Right, just like how it says in Revelations, the 18th chapter, the nation shall stand. The other nations are going to see it from standing afar off, for fear of atonement, man. Right, "The heavens shall reveal his iniquity; the earth shall rise up against him. The increase of his goods shall depart, and his goods shall flow away." Right, in the day of his wrath. This is the portion of the wicked man from the Most High. And that's also not goes to show you that's a wicked man. The Esau's a wicked man, along with other scriptures. It says, "This is a heritage appointed unto him," right, by the Most High. Now let's get into this article. Right, and it starts off nice and sweet. It says, "War fever is in the air," and that's what I'm into, man. The fever that is war. Right, it says 50,000 Russian troops, and armor are amassed on Ukraine's eastern borders. Right, Europe and Washington are worried that the reborn Red Army, right, may sweep west across Ukraine, Moldova, Baltics, even into Poland. The West is suffering from a bad case of Cold War chills. Right, not only are the Western powers worried, they are discovering that they are. This is important. This bit, it says, not only are the Western powers worried, they are discovering that they likely lack the means to stop the possible Russian incursion into what was the former Soviet Union, right, Soviet Empire rather. It says they should not be at all surprised that Russia is again showing signs of life. Russia is coming back into its old state, coming back, and that goes with the scriptures where it says in Ezekiel 37 chapter, the Most High is gonna draw them out with hooks, man. And it says, "Frederick, the great renowned Perusian warrior king, warned, he who tries to defend everything defends nothing." And that's what America's doing in NATO. Right, they're so-called defending the American government, NATO, and NATO's interests and all of that. But all they're doing is spreading their military too thin, just like how the Romans did. And that's how the Romans came down. That's how they lost their power. Right? It says every young man, alright, so furthermore, every young officer should have great Frederick's words tattooed on his right hand. Right, soon after the Soviet Union collapsed in 1991, a small number of strategists, this analyst included, warned NATO, "Do not move east, it is a bridge too far." Right? It says the Soviet chairman Mikhail Gorbachev had agreed to let rebellions East Germany escape Soviet control, but in exchange for NATO's vow not to push east in previous Soviet dominated areas of Eastern Europe and the Caucasus, the US and NATO agreed, then quickly broke their pledges. And that's how you know this man is a devil. And that's where it goes here, right? I wish it's important to remember that, this is Edomites coming up against Edomites, but nevertheless they had a treaty with the Russians not to push too far east. And it says, just like it says here, man, though wickedness be sweet in his mouth, though he hide it, though he spare it and forsake it, but it keep it still within him. Yet, furthermore, though he spare it and forsake it not, right? Though he spare it, he doesn't forsake, and he doesn't get rid of it. he goes out and does it, man. He says, but he keep it still within his mouth. Yes, his meat, his bowels, it's turned into goes up, and that goes into something else, right? It says right here in the next paragraph, it says NATO's advances into Eastern Europe and the Baltics and Caucasus, not to mention the former Soviet Central Asia, right, brought the US-led alliance right up to Russia's border. Right, US anti-missile systems were scheduled to go into Poland, right, close to Russian territory, right. And why are they going into them territories, man? They're trying to put into play. This is a game of chess, man. It's a game of thrones, man. They're basically putting strategies in place. So just if anything was to go down, man, quick retaliation, and they can take over, right? They can go about their business. When I mean business, they can try to take down the Russians, but that's not going to happen. The Russians are going to take down the Americans. Ultimately, they're going to destroy each other, right? Over the face of the earth, and that's why the scripture here goes into the fact that the eye also which has seen him shall see him no more. All right. Up here in the ninth verse, it says, "I also which shall see him no more, neither shall his place behold him." So they're gonna wipe each other off the face of the earth, man. Which coincides with what it says with the scriptures, right? It says Central Asia. It says brought the U.S.-led alliance right up to Russia's border. U.S. anti-missile systems were scheduled to go up into Poland, close to Russian territory. New U.S. bases were also set up into Bulgaria, Romania, and Central Asia. It says unsubtle U.S. efforts to bring ex-Russian Ukraine and Vital Sevastopol naval base in Crimea under NATO control. This was unsubtle, right? No doubt to punish Russia for supporting Syria and Iran proved the last straw for the Kremlin, right? It says talking tough is easy, right? But defending Eastern Europe from a possible Russian invasion will not be. It says the main problem is yet while U.S. NATO guarantee, which is the same entity, guarantees have been advanced to Russia's sensitive borders, their military capabilities have not. In short, the U.S. policy demonstrates a commitment without capability, right? And they're basically saying they ain't capable of holding them Russians back. It says the Russian military could take over the Baltic states of Latvia, Lithuania, and Estonia in an afternoon, man. Seizable portions of their populations are ethnic Russians, right? It says NATO is where am I? NATO is not deployed or equipped to go to war over Ukraine. Its troops are too far west, right? Without supplies system or air cover, aside from the little Nazis in Denmark and Ukraine's nationalists, European powers want no part of war with Russia, right? That's left to war hawks safely at home in Washington. But we know ultimately they're gonna end up into a war with. They're gonna be all at war with Russia, right? And that's pretty much what I wanted to get into for the day. Like I said, it's a quick, short one. There might be a little bit more meat in there you can find, right? Going into the history of the Cold War and all of that. But pretty much with that, man, you can see, like it says here, my war fever is in the air, right? And the USA is in no position to fight back, right? But with that, I'm gonna sign out and say double honors to the apostles of GMS. I want to see you brothers that be pushing this truth and sincerity. Shalom.